What's going on, guys? That British guy here. Now, I've been watching the news over the last few days, and something really interesting is happening. The establishment is absolutely panicking about Restore Britain, and I mean genuinely panicking. But here's the thing, I actually think this is a good thing. Not just for Restore, but for Reform UK and for the entire patriotic movement in this country. Let me explain why. Over the last few days, we've seen article after article attacking Restore Britain. Not just from the left-wing media, we expect that from them, but from the supposedly right-wing press as well. The Daily Mail put out 4 separate articles in a single day attacking Restore Britain. 4, that's not journalism, that's an editorial directive from the top. And the worst one, they went after a 19-year-old Restore Britain activist who attended a remigration summit in Portugal. They called him a white supremacist, a neo-Nazi, for attending a conference with 600 other Europeans who want Europe to remain European, who want England to remain English. That's not extremism, that's patriotism. And it's absolutely disgusting that a young man who cares about his country's future gets slandered like that. Now, here's where it gets even more interesting. Nadine Dorries, who is now in Reform UK, actually reposted that article and agreed with it. A woman who served in Boris Johnson's cabinet, who was part of the government that oversaw record levels of immigration, attacking a teenager for caring about his country. I find that absolutely ludicrous. These are hope not hate tactics. This is what I'd expect from the radical left, not from people who claim to be on our side. And this brings me to my main point. Because what we're actually seeing here is the establishment trying to divide the patriotic vote. They want Reform UK and Restore Britain to tear each other apart, while Labour and the Tories coast to victory. And we cannot let that happen. Now I support Reform UK. I support Nigel Farage, I always have. Nigel Farage is the single most effective politician of our generation. He delivered Brexit, he changed British politics forever, and he's the only person who has consistently stood up to the establishment and won. But I also believe in being fair. And what's happening to Restore Britain right now is not fair. There was an article claiming Restore Britain would steal a fifth of Reform voters. And I had to stop and think about that language. Steal, as if voters are property that Reform owns, as if voting for another party is a criminal act. That's not how democracy works. You put your policies forward, you ask people to trust you, and if they don't, they vote for someone else. That's not theft, that's democracy. But here's the thing, and this is where I think this actually helps Reform UK in the long run. The rise of Restore Britain is waking people up. It's making people ask questions. It's making people realize that the establishment doesn't want any real change, whether it comes from Reform or Restore or anyone else. And when people see that both parties are being attacked by the same media, by the same establishment, they start to think, hang on, maybe these guys are onto something. What happens to British people when they see an underdog being relentlessly attacked? They support them. We've seen this before. We saw it with Donald Trump in 2016. The media attacked him every single day and he grew stronger. We saw it with Brexit. The establishment told us it would be the end of Britain, and we voted for it anyway. British people do not like being told what to think, and they really don't like seeing someone being ganged up on unfairly. So this barrage of attacks on Restore Britain, it's not going to weaken the patriotic movement. It's going to strengthen it. It's free advertising. It's making people curious. It's making people ask, what are they so scared of? And let me tell you what they're scared of. They're scared that the British people are waking up. They're scared that whether it's Reform UK or Restore Britain, the demand for real change is not going away. They thought they could ignore us. They thought they could absorb reform into the system. But it's not working. Look at the footage coming out of Makerfield. Hundreds of Restore Britain activists out canvassing. That's a genuine grassroots movement. And you know what? That energy, that enthusiasm, that passion, it's good for everyone on our side. It raises the bar. It pushes reform to be better, to be sharper, to be more ambitious. Competition is healthy. It keeps everyone honest. Now, I want to be clear. Reform UK remains the only party that can actually win a general election and form a government. They have the structure, the funding, the name recognition, and crucially, Nigel Farage. But Restore Britain is playing an important role too. They're keeping the pressure on. They're making sure nobody gets complacent. And in the end, the establishment is terrified of both of them. The establishment had gotten comfortable with reform. They'd seen reform bring in former Tories, they'd seen them moderate some positions. They figured a reform government would be manageable, a continuation of the Tories but a bit harder on immigration. That's it. But the reality is that Nigel Farage and Reform UK have never bent the knee. They've never given up. And now, with Restore Britain pushing from the outside, the entire Overton window is shifting. What was considered extreme 5 years ago is now mainstream. What was unthinkable is now being debated. That's progress. That's what we've been fighting for. So here's my conclusion. The establishment attacks on Restore Britain are actually a sign that we're winning. They're scared. They're panicking. And when the establishment panics, that's when they make mistakes. That's when they overplay their hand. And that's when the British people see through them. The patriotic movement in this country is bigger than any one party. It's Reform UK. It's Restore Britain. It's every single person who wants their country back. And the more they attack us, the stronger we get. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you agree that these attacks will backfire? Do you think Reform and Restore can coexist and push the country in the right direction? I'm genuinely curious. Thanks for watching. Drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you on the next one.